Right, back with another video on leaking fork. Basically, as you can see, my right side fork is leaking, and I wiped the excess oil off. But what I'm about to do today, just gonna take the forks off and change the seals. I've done nearly 63,000 miles with the bike, so it's wise when you change the one, it's better to do the both fork in the same time. So first I'm gonna take a wheel off, headlight off, and the mud guard plus the calipers off the forks, and then open the fasteners from the frame to get off the forks. For the headlight, there is two fasteners at top, one here at this point and one at this side, and two from the bottom sides, one there and one here. So I already took them off, and now take the headlight off. Right, underneath there is 4 M10 bolts, so we're gonna take this 4 off, and we're gonna take off the back cover as well. Before taking the forks off, again I'm gonna loose these top bolts, so sometimes they are really hard to get off, and when you take them off, I don't have a clamp to want to clamp it, so while it's on a frame, it's easily I can undo it. A 12mm socket for the calipers. Just using a clamp to push the pistons, the caliper pistons in, so I can take the caliper off. Easy. Hi, Nicholas, how are you? I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, please. It's gonna take for a while for me. Hi, lady. You good? Alright. Right, before we change the seals, we need to measure how much oil is inside. So I'm gonna open the cap and drain the oil into the container to see how much oil is inside. So when I refill it with the fresh oil, new oil, so I have the exact amount of oil inside, because the amount of oil you put inside, it affects the functionality, the how it performs. So if you put more oil, the forks or shock absorber, it become more stiff. If you put less oil in, it more spongy. So basically, because when you put less oil, there is more air inside, and the air is compressible. So when you put more oil in, yeah, basically the liquid is incompressible. So that's a theory behind. Also, when you open this cap, be careful, because the spring it might force it out and it flies off. While I'm gonna take off the other forks, and there is a fasteners at the bottom, and take the shaft off. So by undoing the fasteners, you can take this shaft off and change the seals. It's quite tight. If you don't have a clamp, just place back the bolt in and use another lever for your Allen key and try it this way. Quite tight. Well, I managed to get it loose. Right, we pop the first seals off, and then there is a O-ring, the steel, like a steel clamp, so it holds the second seals in. That's the way it sits inside. So I'm gonna just clean off and put the new seals on and tighten it up. right, it was like too much rust around the inner bore, so I slightly used the sandpaper, not something very high, just a high grade like 1000 grade sandpaper, to just slightly get rid of the rusts. And then now I'm gonna put slightly oil on and place back the new seals. I put a slightly oil. I just want to show you the color is really light golden color, and the reason our oil, I mean the old oil, is so dark and thick because it goes hydroscopic. It means it absorbs some water into it, and also some material from the forks itself. It dissolves inside the oil, so it, over the time it becomes dark and thick. Right, that's the way it sits in, just like this. And for the top, just use a socket, something like that, not any sharp edges. Push it in. And the reason we put the oil in, because it allows like to easier slide in. Right, and the spring at the bottom side, we're gonna put it back in the same order. So the gap, the wider gap, it goes at the top, and the closer gap between the spiral shape, it goes at the bottom side. So like this. Right, this is the amount of oil inside. So if I keep it flat, it was about 180. Yeah, probably around 160, 180 is enough oil to put in. Right, after you put it back on, you can press it, see how it feels. If it's smooth, if it's spongy, you might want to add more oil. If it's too much, too stiff, what you're gonna do, just take off some of the oil. I'm good with this one. I'm happy. That's the way it should be. So fully empty forks for this bike, I put around 180 mils of oil. So I'm gonna do the same thing for the other forks and put it back on the bike. Right, I put the tires, calipers, forks, everything back on the bike again, and thanks for watching.